Bassists, what's good? Welcome to another video. I saw a cool post, that sparked some curiosity on Facebook. Said, I'd like to know more about funk bass playing. And I have some thoughts on this. Of course, 228 people had thoughts on this as well. But I'm going to tell you, number one, stick around and watch this video. I'm going to tell you the place where I think you should start first. The place you should start first is the source, records, right? But what records do you listen to? Well, if you don't know what records to listen to first, man, a lot of people going to have a lot of suggestions. I'm going to tick some people off here. I saw somebody say something about Les Claypool. You know, listen, talented cat. That ain't the first place where you need to go to learn about no funk music. Neither is Flea. Respect to both of those guys. Those aren't the dudes you need to start with. You need to go back to the source. I'm going to recommend a book for you. The book is called Funk. It is linked below. There is an Amazon affiliate link. I'd love it if you use that link. It supports the channel a little bit. Doesn't cost you anything extra and helps me out. This book, I think, is like the definitive guide to the origins of funk music. Now, I had to write this down. I'm going to read a brief synopsis of the book for you. Ricky Vincent's Funk, the Music, the People, and the Rhythm of the One is a deep dive into the history, culture, and influence of funk music. The book traces funk's roots. I can read. The book traces funk's roots from jazz, R&B, soul, highlighting key figures like James Brown, Sly and the Family Stone, George Clinton, and Bootsy Collins. Even, of course, blues is the source of all this stuff, right? Vincent explores funk's social and political. That's important. That is important. If you really want to understand funk music, you have to go back and look at the times and the things that were happening in the world to kind of shape and form these artists that created this music. If you look at it strictly from a bass guitar perspective, I think that you're going to miss something, okay? This information, as Prince so famously said,
well, if you can describe it, it ain't funky.
Is it that simple?
Pretty much.
It's not in a book. Sure, we can intellectualize it to some degree, but it isn't in a book. Let me finish reading the little thing I wrote, because I wrote it, right? Vincent explores funk's social and politically impact. I can read. Vincent explores funk's social and political impact, particularly in the black community, and how it evolved into different styles, influencing hip-hop, rock, and electronic music. And I need to stress, we gotta call it what it is. We gotta call it what it is. This book explores the impact, the political impact, particularly in the black community. This book also breaks down funk's musical structure, especially the one, the heavy downbeat emphasis, and its role in shaping grooves that get people moving. With a mix of interviews, historical analysis, and cultural critique, Vincent paints funk as more than just a genre. It's a movement, a lifestyle, and a powerful force in music history. It is a powerful force in music history. Ricky Vincent, I was playing a gig with Zigaboo in Oakland. What was that? Berkeley. And I got a signed copy of this book. This is the book that you want to get. And he talks about the 5 funk dynasties. You want to check this out. Go back to the source. This is the way that I like to read through this book. Make yourself a playlist. Grab this book. Use my Amazon link down there. Grab this book if you're a Spotify user, right, and you start a playlist and you start listening to a couple of these folks, the algorithm is going to lead you down the rabbit hole, okay? Now, that I think is just a wee bit dangerous, and I'm going to tell you why. Back in the days when we used to buy these old things called records and tapes, right? You'd have, 6, 8, 10 songs on a record. And so you'd be able to digest that record and listen to that record. And you can really get to know the music on that record. You can get into the liner notes. You can see who produced what. Ooh, what else might they be playing on? And you go on this quest for music. It's a little bit different now because, if you got a playlist of like 200 songs or something like that, you don't really get to absorb a particular section of the genre. You dig what I'm saying? So like, if you wanted to get into the New Orleans thing, I also got a gumbo grooves, New Orleans bass course, link down below. If you go down to New Orleans thing, you'll learn about New Orleans. If you go down to Memphis thing, you'll learn about Memphis. If you go down to Ohio thing, you do that. The Minneapolis thing, they're all their own bags. The Philly thing, the Oakland thing, it's all its own bag. You see what I'm saying? But you got to go to the source. I believe wholeheartedly that if your first port of call is a book, you are going to miss something. You're going to spend a lot of time trying to read rhythms and things like that. Listen, I ain't mad at nobody trying to get their coins. Not at all. But that is an intellectual exercise. And funk is deeper than that. Music as a whole is deeper than that. But funk music, since we're talking about that, and we're talking about bass in particular, it's deeper than that. So it's a lifestyle thing. It's a genre that's born out of some life experience, lived experience. You understand what I'm saying? You got a lot of these old bass players, my man from Ohio players, Verdine, all of these cats, man, think about the times they were coming up in. Bootsy, they coming up in like some turbulent political times. So they are, street kids that are kind of coming up and getting in the thing. That's my take on it. Of course, I do different things, but I really have a heavy emphasis on funk, R&B, stuff like that here on this channel. But, it's more than just bass. It's more than just bass. I think there's some very well-intentioned people here in the comments, but like, for instance, one comment says, learn bass lines from the legend, and all of these people are dope. Chuck Rainey, James Jamerson, Bootsy Collins, Jerry Jamott, Duck Dunn, Larry Graham, Lewis Johnson. Somebody said Norwood, Fisher, or Fishbone. Now, I love Norwood Fisher, but I wouldn't say that Norwood would be step one, right? If you want to learn more about funk bass, like I say all the time on this channel, is what do you like? You might not even know what you like yet. You see what I'm saying? So this is the book. This is the book right here. Funk by Ricky Vincent. This is the book that I recommend that you get. Don't get any other book. Get this book. Read about, read the George Clinton's foreword, and then, as an artist comes up in the book, write it down. Get on YouTube, get on Spotify, start making your playlist, and start listening. Listen, Linda. No, seriously, listen to the music, okay? And not just from a bass guitar perspective. Bass is an important element, but funk is really about rhythm, okay? And listen, don't get from the book. Just listen, okay? If I've earned your subscribe, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. I have been Ted, and I talk bass. I'm going to catch y'all in the next one. Peace. Two fingers.